Hi there, so glad you could join me for this video. My name is Beth Martens. Welcome to these videos. This is a series, by the way, of the archetypes on the hero's journey. We have reached the Hedonist Archetype, which I'm going to talk to you about the gifts and the shadows. If you're not familiar with my work, maybe you're just finding this video and you haven't done the quiz yet, you can visit bethmartens.com, scroll down, leave your name and email. It takes only 10 minutes to do the quiz, and you can find out where are you on the hero's journey and the path of purpose. Because it's important not to just know who you are, but you need to know where you are. What's come before you, what's ahead of you, gives you a map. So in a short time, you can learn. And if you're not familiar with my work, I am a pattern hunter. I love freedom more than anything. I'm a coach helping people to deprogram and release the shadows of archetypes so that they can have breakthroughs in their life. They can be a force for freedom, not just talk about freedom and watch videos and follow gurus about freedom, but really themselves do the thing. I train coaches in this field as well. That's my joy since 2020 when the pandemic hit. And coming September 2024, I'm going to be training the 6th group of coaches in this work. Really satisfying. I am the host of the King Heroes Journey podcast, where I interview a number of amazing people in the freedom movement. And eyes open, I use my podcast as a way to vet people. So you got to not just think, oh, Beth likes them, so then I'm going to have them on. So let's talk about the hedonist archetype. A really interesting, important one has been in my life, one I didn't expect to find on the hero's journey, but there it was. All of this work I've done inside myself. It's not what I think of or what I've gone out there to research and put together. It's what I've done here to heal myself. When I nearly died of a stage 4 lymphoma, that set me on a path of using archetypes to find precisely where is life being gained and where is life being lost. So these are answers you can get through doing this work. Now, the word hedonist is not a nice word. If you tell someone they're a hedonist, it's like you are spitting in their face. You are calling them down. And so I'm on a little bit of a mission to reclaim the hedonist and show how there is, of course, always with archetypes, a light and a dark side. Dark, I don't mean evil, by the way. It's just literally hidden in the unconscious. So the sacred contract, the sweet spot of the hedonist archetype, is that pleasure is a path to the divine. And the strengths and the gifts that the hedonist can inherit and enjoy is, in fact, enjoying life. Because God didn't want us to have a pleasureless life. Why would God fill the world with all kinds of amazing things that will cause pleasure? So it's not wrong by any means. They live life to the fullest, and their lives are an example of that for others as well. In the awakened place, they have a superpower called deferred gratification, meaning they can put off a small pleasure for a greater, more purposeful pleasure in the future. They give those who they love and a generous and pleasing experience. They want others' pleasure as much as they want their own pleasure. So that's very nice. Good to have hedonistic friends, and they have services. And if they're in the business of being self-employed and doing their own work, that increase the quality of life. They access divine connection directly. They are purposeful. They know that purpose is, in fact, the biggest pleasure of life. They give permission to serve their own and others' preferences, where a lot of people don't have the ability to do that. For example, the nurturer that we talked about might be completely alien to their thinking. They create an enjoyable experience around them, whether that's in their work environment or any other for their relationships. And they like to work with those that are really, truly a good fit for them. They give themselves permission to be with their kind. And this is, to me, very relevant in the truth and freedom community, where we've got this, overarching kind of psyop message that is identical to the globalist agenda, saying that you have to go and unify with all the freedom people when they're not actually your people. Yeah, we love freedom, but they might not be your kind. So we have God-given permission to do that, to be with our kind, just like the horses are with the horses and the dogs are with the dogs. People can be with those that align with their own sacred purpose. They inherit the earth. They access the deepest pleasures of both spirit and purpose, as I mentioned, and they might have very discriminating gourmet taste. So put my hand up there. Now, in the shadow, very deep, very dark for this one. And they indulge themselves in pleasures to a point of self harm or even harming others and harming the relationship with others. Their tendency is to ignore responsibilities in favor of just doing whatever they want. I'm sure you've seen many people like that or found that in yourself. They are driven by a sense of emptiness, a void inside themselves that is so uncomfortable that they have to attempt to fill it. And if you have ever been in that place yourself, you know that if you continue to fill emptiness with pleasure, you get more empty, right? The drug that you turn to, you need more of it. The food that you eat, you need more of it and end up obese and on and on. So this is the plight of the addicts. The hedonists can definitely turn into. They can live in a bliss bubble, so they have all the pleasures, they have what they need. They're not suffering, so they don't feel, and certainly not the pain of others. They have a feeling that they've arrived, that their life is good, they don't need to do anything more, and yet purpose is very much calling them and will create that emptiness for them if otherwise not fulfilled. They can fail to seek value in the good things in life in a mindful way. I know that one of the ways I've learned to be at peace with my hedonist is to have small amounts of very high quality pleasures. So I will spend more money on something so that, like, for example, if it's chocolate, which I barely can have anymore, but I would just buy only the best chocolate and I would only have a little bit of dark chocolate. So it was high on the pleasure scale, but low on the volume that my body had to recover from. And they can feel a loss of control in their life. They lose control to their appetite for pleasure. And they might use seduction for a selfish gain. And they might also be impossible to please because of that emptiness that drives them. So that's the hedonist archetype, very powerful once you find the pleasure of purpose. That is the deepest, most subtle pleasure. It's sustaining pleasure, and it moves you forward to the next archetype, which is the king, which I'll talk about in the next video. And if you'd like to read about these archetypes in order and find yourself on the path of purpose, you can visit my website, bethmartens.com, with an ENS, by the way, and you can grab a copy that can be delivered right to your door of my book, Journey. It is a map, the map of archetypes to find yourself, to find lost purpose in what can be a sea of meaningless shit. That's actually how I wanted to title this book, was a sea of meaningless shit on the end of that really long subtitle, but my editor at the time wouldn't let me do it. So there you go. I just did it. And if you need some help with this archetype or any of the archetypes on the hero's journey, feel free to reach out to me. Let me know where you're stuck, and we can get together for a call or a Zoom and just have a chat about that. I never charge for that first discussion to see if it's really truly a perfect fit for us to work together, exercising the gift of the hedonist in that case with myself, working only with people who love freedom, who don't take poison injections, who don't muzzle their face, who are not going to stand down when tyranny is at their door. So thank you very much for joining me for this video. I appreciate it very much. We're going to be talking about the king archetype, a very big leap in the hero's journey next. Bye for now.